Go. Ladies and gentlemen, being here at RT Studios in the middle of Hollywood in Los Angeles is incredible. Every window you look out of has another story. That is Occidental Petroleum over there. Arm & Hammer, worked with the Russians, the whole 9 yards. Al Gore is the majority owner, last time I checked, of that company. This is the guy running around calling for carbon taxes on everybody. It is just incredible to see this happening. But then you realize Ken Lay and Al Gore in 95 and 96 had scores of meetings at the White House and openly drew up the carbon tax plan. It's actually British Petroleum, Occidental, the major oil companies, except for Exxon. ExxonMobil was different, and it's one of the biggest, obviously, who created the carbon tax plan. And then we got Associated Press documents in 2001 when they sued and got them, where the big 10 oil companies met in 1995 and 96, right at the same time, and said there's too much oil. We've got to create artificial scarcity. We're going to buy up most of the small refineries and independent refineries in North America, in the U.S. and Canada, and shut them down so there's an artificial bottleneck. You see, when they invaded Iraq, oil production went down, but prices went up. People said, well, I thought they wanted oil. It's like diamonds. They make them artificially scarce. That's where the profit is. Diamonds are really just semi-precious, and they're discovering new oil all the time. So this is how their scam operates. But getting back to what's happening currently, if you go back 3 years ago, and it was in the Associated Press and a bunch of the major news, David Rockefeller, who controls the board of ExxonMobil, went to the corporate meeting and said, you're not getting behind the carbon taxes that all the other oil companies created. I mean, they thought it up. So it is true that some oil companies were against it, but then after he went and threatened to fire Rex Tillerson and the rest of them, the next day they came out and said, we now endorse the global carbon tax, which again is then paid to the private central banks. That's the new layer of Ponzi scheme. That's the open world government. But people investigate Al Gore. I'm not against people being wealthy if they didn't steal their money. But this guy's got, like, last time I checked, 5 or 6 giant palaces. I mean, huge homes. One of them I was reading was like 14,000 square feet, another over 10,000 square feet. I saw reports that one of the mansions used over 10 times or more. I mean, you could pull all this up. You saw in the news what an average family home does. I saw a report just the other day, I covered it on the radio in the Daily Mail, where it showed Nathan Rothschild and the rest of them out on their big yachts, you know, the size of destroyers, private islands, the supermodels being flown in, their own private jets landing. Oh, evil carbon dioxide. These people use hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times the carbon that the average person does, but then they're always lecturing you that pensioners in England shouldn't get their natural gas allotment to not freeze to death, or you shouldn't take a hot bath. They're actually lecturing you. You should only have 1 child, and then Ted Turner has 5 children and all these jets and is the biggest landowner. They're a bunch of hypocrites. Investigate Al Gore, investigate Occidental. It just blows me away that everywhere I look is another story in Los Angeles, and is, you know, more propaganda. So we've got Occidental right over here that helped to fund the Soviets during all of that nightmare. Again, big megacorporations in the U.S. would write laws and sanctions where only they could operate in Russia. Just like a few years ago, they came out with Halliburton that they had exemptions where they could deal with the Iranians, but nobody else could. So there's Occidental. What a story of the big oil magnate Al Gore that lectures us about how evil oil is all day. Well, that's it, folks. Let's show people some of the posters here at RT, and then we're going to get out of here. And later today, they're going to have a big Bohemian Grove report they did with myself. Ramon, what time today is that supposed to air, say Central Time? Or
that will be airing at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So
okay, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. What's the show?
It is RT America Newscast. That'll be 4 p.m. Central.
RT America Newscast, 4 p.m. Central. Thanks a lot, bro. We'll get out of your hair. More reports coming to you live from Los Angeles.